evening. Just doing a quick mic check here. All right. Better? So here we are at this time of tremendous history. Thank you for coming to look at the history that's happening down the street from the other one. And we're going to take a look at the similarities and the differences because there are plenty of them. And as we do, we're going to take us to the summer of '69. Our story starts a year later. And it's honoring the great oral traditions of the Studs Terkels and the other people that have made Chicago one of the great centers for oral history. We start with introducing you to Charlene. Charlene is a smart, experienced Chicago Public Library research librarian. She will be read tonight by Olivia Leon.
Every workday morning, I am stuffed inside a crowded hell. All these faces pressed together, inside each a private hell. Doors open and I wonder which way each of them will go. Wish I had the guts to speak to them, to ask them what they know. The trouble with history.
Trouble with history.
You don't get the package till you purchase the goods.
Trouble with history.
The trouble with history. Then I get home to my father, he is glued to his Cubs game, and when I serve him supper, he may not even know my name. Too late to get his story, great takes are gone for good. Turn the page right away, slog through another day.
The trouble with history. The trouble with history.
Don't get the package till you purchase the goods.
Just what we won't see.
That which will come to be.
The riots of last summer.
Television is looking on. Someone's got to do it.
The stories are all gone.
Big name authors,
Party bosses?
You can bet they'll have the word.
What about the rest of us? What the chances we'll
that
get
we
hurt? Sit down and ask no questions, no triviality. Record just what they've witnessed. Through others we might see, through others we might see. Na, 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 na. The trouble with history comes back to you and me. Na, 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 na. Don't get the package till you purchase a good. Reporter Studs Terkel wasn't the first person to go out and ask people questions on the street, you know? Don't get me wrong, I'm a librarian. I love books. And I could let people recount their tales and scribble away, transcribing like a stenographer, but why not record and preserve their voices? Besides, someday reading will probably go extinct. So I taped up mimeographic flyers on L platforms around town. Tell your tales and I'll record them. See what they won't be ignored. In the break room, thumbtacked an appeal to help try to run a reel to reel. White Sox passes for the nosebleed section. Never got such a cold rejection. So here goes nothing.
The first person who responded to the flyers that Charlene posted on her commute between her dad and the library was Lonnie, who, like activists all over the city, was organizing and trying to find a path to the future. Lonnie described how he tried to convince his disenfranchised comrades in the community civil group, the Young Lords, to consider Humphrey. Lonnie will be read tonight by Eric Kittrell.
Dr. King was right. He's not going to see the mountaintop with us. But I don't see a mountaintop. We're looking at a junction, a collision course. After the problem in April, after the trouble in April, after his murder in April, after the riots in April, was that you I saw looting? You. Is everybody feeling powerless? Who say no to looting? Who say no to violence? Stokely Carmichael say this country is uncivilized, needs to be civilized. So killing the pigs make it civilized? Is this nation of thieves? We have lost the war on poverty, the poor people's campaign. LBJ draft us to fight a different war. We need a new direction, civilize this nation. So I bring you Hubert H. Humphrey. Listen to me. Not the Hubert recruited to fight LBJ's war. Not the Hubert who got himself asked by the party, but the Hubert that took a stand, my brothers. The good stand, little sisters. He stood up before he got asked. Oh, he said he was confused. He said he was emotional. Some say we rushed in the issue of civil rights. Hubert say we be 172 years too late. 172 years too late. Are you feeling powerless? MLK had a dream. Put your hands together. If not Humphrey, then who? Strom Thurmond for president? That's right, that's Strom Thurmond. He marched. He marched right out of the Democratic Party. He marched to Birmingham, where they burned crosses in churches. My people. Dixiecrats, we offer forth the trouble with history. Humphrey not preaching the patriotism of trumpets and of guns. He preached about the patriotism of heart and spirit. Ronald Reagan supports Hubert. You think everybody like Robert? You think everybody like Hubert? You think everybody like Hubert? Plenty of the whites call him nigger lover.
As Charlene listens to Lonnie and hears him recalling getting booed by his longtime friends, she winces with emotion.
All right. Well, after I got shouted down, I quit the Solidarity Committee and volunteered for the Humphrey campaign. I mean, that February, my own cousin, who got shot in the back trying to integrate a bowling alley in Orangeburg, and nothing in their mass media. Think the TVs will be silent if white students get gunned down? Anyway, Humphrey, at least he had a history. But my neighborhood wasn't interested in Humphrey or in the convention. Most just watched as the Democrats were coming from all over to the big meeting over by the stockyards.
Delegates, reporters, lobbyists came from all over. On the Chicago L's, Greyhound buses, the 20th Century Limited from New York, the Tri-State Tollway. Meanwhile, at the CPD admin building in Burnham Park, tensions were growing inside the precinct. All right, bozos, sit the hell down. We got a city about to be under siege. You got your toughs from the south side, draft dodgers out of school, hippies in the park like last summer's zoo. Willoughby buses coming from St. Louis and D.C. Blacks and anti-war kids, yippies, NYC. Your camera vans are here, standby limos there, concession trucks unloading, McCarthy's in there.
Humvees entourage enters through the back garage. Task force bounty police, fatty roof up sweeps. We got 500 gas masks gift from the mayor. Hope we never need them. That would be my prayer.
You have reason to be pissed off about the cops that got shot in May. Stay focused on the job at hand. Helmets, gas masks, tear masks, pistols, shotguns, flexing our arms, batons, gas masks, tear masks, stacking our arms. Any more questions? No more questions? What are you, stupid, O'Connor? No, I'm all for looting. King got shot. And then the riots. The blacks, they got mad. They felt they'd been had. Some of them never got a piece of the pie. Looting makes me mad as you.
I suppose you think the blacks are through.
Though the mayor said shoot to kill.
Let's hope it's just a damn fire drill.
We issued fair warning to the reporters. If we see them and we think they're snipers, they might just get their shot. You got shoppers on the street, people that get to work. Law abiding's good for most. We're supposed to play the host.
You can make nice all you like. Bus and taxi drivers on a strike. They think runners is a freaking jerk. Should be happy they got work. It's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, with your help it will. Most of these kids are peaceful. Most of them will play fair. We don't want to shoot them just because they have long hair.
Think about your good kids. Look me in the eyes. Know enough of good apples to make good freaking pie. Welcome to stage reading. You don't get it. What you got here is perfect shitstorm. The armed Black Panther Negroes are and their demands and anarchist picnics armed with Molotovs and dropping LSD in the city reservoir.
Oh, Jesus, Stubbig. Take it the hell easy. Daly's placed guards 24/7 at the city's water filtration plants. You'll have to get your LSD off the streets.
What if they do have guns or knives?
Well, just be sure to kiss your wives. And be prepared for radical agitators from New York. Abby Hoffman, Dillinger, Renee Davis, Tom Hayden.
Why the hell are they bringing it in National Guards? Hell! They are as bad as the hippies, cowards that joined the reserve to avoid the draft. Just look at all the idiots in the park. Take off your name badge and they don't know who's to blame.
And even in 1968, there were party operatives. Volunteers mostly, from the regional Democratic clubs, swept in with the excitement, and one of them was Humphrey Hotel VIP Guest Relations Manager, Sandy Filstad. Sandy fidgets with her eye patch, which she has not become comfortable with. Sandy is read by Sarah Hensley, and Rebecca is read by Dina Perez.
You know what? I bet someday they'll invent a little robot that automatically leaves the information right on your phone. In the future, campaigning will be so much more pleasant for everyone. So why don't you come along to the airport? It'll be fun.
But is the bus strike finished?
You can ride in the taxi with me, and you'll get home somehow. Aren't you just tickled pink about Hubert? Look at that bumper sticker. Hubert, the happy warrior.
I guess so. My vote is going to whoever can beat Nixon will have my vote. After Senator Kennedy's assassination, my mother and I took the bus all the way to New York City, and we waited 6 hours to see his body in St. Patrick's Cathedral, the only time I've ever seen her cry.
I don't know if Kennedy's idealism ever really stood a chance. Vietnam is going to hell. Things at home are not going well between Bobby and Dr. King. It's been such an awful spring. Sometimes you feel so hopeless. Sometimes poverty is getting worse. Nobody cares about pollution, and there's less money in our purse. I want to have home. Aren't you tired of despair? Not just what is wrong, but what can we repair? I am just one, but I'll do my part to elect a man who has a real heart. Though RFK was murdered, we can't all just mope. We need another leader who can fill us full of hope. We need Minnesota nice. We've paid an awful price for all the terrible advice. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Will he end the Saigon horror? Send more troops to that ugly war? Will he address mass poverty? Ever met someone who's poor? What is in it for him? What's in it for us? What is his asking price? Is anyone ever nice?
He may not be so bold, but he works for the sick and the old. He's a tireless advocate. His hair is darker and he's lost that weight. I was this close to meeting him at the donor dinner. My goodness, Sinatra and his daughter are for him, and that's good enough for me. He greets the challenge with a smile. America is a friendly
if you are the
place,
correct race,
always ready to lend
don't
a
bite
hand.
that
He's the man to
hand.
unite the land.
Estados divididos en American?
I, for one, am pretty comfy with a president named Humphrey. It seems the delegates like him too.
If Nixon wins, what will we do?
The voters shouldn't have to think twice. Mr. Humphrey gives good advice. We've all paid too high a price. Now we need Minnesota nice. See, we put politicians down. They smile at us and we all just frown. He meets every last complaint with kindness and with great restraint.
These others, they seem nice too. McGovern and Muskie.
Well, of course, McCarthy is too radical, unelectable. Hubert's his own man.
How can that be true?
The happy warrior.
Is he a warrior?
The happy warrior.
Do we even need a warrior?
The happy warrior.
We need a savior, a Gandhi, a Bobby, or a king.
We need Minnesota nice.
What we need is peace. A landslide over Nixon is just what we need.
Swell. He's pretty darn swell. My gosh, he's not a crook like a Republican, you know. This room is tapped. Oh, hell. I just think he'll be a nice president. Imagine a nice president. Imagine that. We've seen cunning, ruthless, and vicious, and everything in between. Some think it's too trusting and foolish to hope for what's right. I guess you can say I'm tenacious, but I just won't give up the good fight. We've all paid too high a price. We need Minnesota nice.
Is anyone ever nice?
And the peppy campaign volunteers braved the humidity to work the cheery delegate welcome wagon at O'Hare Airport. The part of O'Hare Airport will be sung by Dean Milano.
Where are you coming from? Across the wind-fed plains. Wind, where are you coming from? The stench of hot campaigns. We're in a whirlwind, in a storm's embrace. When the storm blows over, will we find our place? Wind, where are you coming from? The blast of jumbo jets. Wind, where are you coming from? The puff of cigarettes. No sign of stillness. Where's the gentle breeze? Just a scorching wheeze and the jabbering TVs. One menacing storm front. Trouble lies in its path. The lucky find shelter, the rest face a violent wrath. Wind, where are you heading to? Who will ever win? Wind, where are you heading to? Don't know where you've been. Some don't know the sorrow. Some don't know dreams. The ones that never had 'em maybe might have been. Wind, where did you go? Wind, where did you go? Wind, where will you go? Wind, where will you go? The city by the lake, where are the stars? We're blinded by and by, slammed in by those great lakes. We may all just be lost, but still we are alone. Wind, where will you go? Wind, where will you go? Wind, where will you go? Ooh.
People left the airport only to learn the taxis and buses were on strike. Arriving guests ended up stranded all over the city. Charlene bunkered down, looking after her dad.
It was silent, like a Chicago blizzard, except it was 95 degrees.
As Charlene interviewed more people, she uncovered the chaotic details of the Festival of Life, a teach-in protest that drew together various groups, all without an elusive assembly permit. She learned that the presidential candidate Pegasus was indeed a real piglet, seized by the police as the street theater troops performed to swelling crowds. In the oppressive 95-degree heat, the cops, drenched in sweat, watched from lawn chairs around the perimeter as the performers, led by a hippie MC and a tattered Uncle Sam Tot Pat, mocked them with furious, sarcastic political satire. With each exaggerated caricature, the tension escalated, turning the festival of life into the first real clash of the week.
So hold your nose and vote Pegasus, wee, all the way to Hanoi.
A protester dressed as Humpty Dumpty forecast the impending disaster of the Humphrey candidacy.
Humphrey Dumpty, Convention Hall. Humphrey Dumpty will have a bad fall. LBJ's war copters, King Daly's mobsters, can't put his platform together again at all. Period.
A montage of mocking musical numbers and outrageous costumes. We see a California farm worker sing.
Picking the grapes for your wine Latinos, Latinas, Filipinos, Filipinas, picking the peach for your pie.
Detroit labor activists holler out a blues anthem.
Paid us what we worth.
Street theater performances continue against war, corruption, and social hypocrisy, culminating with a cartoonish invocation of Chicago Mayor Daley as a militaristic robot. The disillusioned and rebellious young people act out as the onlooking police get angrier and angrier.
Now, comrades, get groovy with your Groucho Marxists, all the way from San Francisco. A few of us Frisco freaks hitchhiked 2,000 miles and ended up strutting out to ourselves, sweating and waiting to get the crap beat out of us.
But didn't you see the cops and the National Guard had you far outnumbered?
You know, Jerry Rubin and Abby Hoffman had promised some 10,000 protesters. Everyone expected huge crowds. But Vietnam was a long war. There was burnout. There was protest fatigue. People got tired and gave up. Grant Park was a large crowd, but mostly to furious, sweating cops. The military presence intimidated, as intended, people from coming. Only later did people show up after being exposed to the police brutality on TV. Charlene is surprised when a social worker responds to her flyer on the L platform and gave her a phone number for a CPD officer suspended for hiding his badge and nameplate before kicking a protester in the head. Unfortunately for the cop, his violence was captured live on the 6 o'clock news. Telling his story to this librarian would qualify him as helping fulfill his community service. So, Lieutenant Svetka Stubby came to the library from his neighborhood near Old Polonia, told his story. He will be read tonight by Lifang Deng.
I'm only here because I'm not gonna let you all make your little tape recordings about how we're all thugs, monsters.
Well, if we can set it straight, history will thank you. Officer Charlene Kaczynski interviewing Lieutenant Svetka Stupik of the CPD.
Stoopy.
Nicknamed Stubby. Please tell me about your experience the week of August 25th, 1968.
Experience?
Your experience. So, officer, when you got suspended, a neighborhood newspaper quoted that you said officers went days without sleep, yes?
10,000 of us.
Fellow officers.
12-hour shifts.
Long shifts.
And you tell me who got screwed. Not the superintendent, not Daley, not the radical yippie Jew boys from New York, those so-called 8.
Mr. Stubig, we are here to record history, your history. Please don't think of me as your enemy. Can I get you some water or coffee or tang?
Oh, they loved calling it a police riot. Oh, police riot. All we had on us were our service revolvers, and they never mentioned that no one got shot. Or the cops had their helmets and skulls split open.
Anything particular you'd like me to ask you about?
You married?
To my invalid father, our 20th anniversary.
Your mom?
What should I ask you?
Ask me about the glass ashtrays.
Glass ashtrays. I'll put it on my list. Let's talk to the tape recorder. Who do you hold responsible for the whole mess?
The loud-mouthed New Yorkers and their friends all on trial? Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see them all locked up for common good. But don't doubt they're all in it for publicity. Besides, aren't you supposed to be all impartial?
My pops used to say the only people to worry about are the ones who say they're impartial.
Between the people that saw that was happening and didn't stop it, and the agitators, and the stupid kids, the conventioneers were lucky they got out alive. We were stationed outside of the Hilton Hotel, the center of the goddamn tornado.
Not outside the convention center or Grant Park?
No, the Conrad Hilton.
Welcome to the world's largest and friendliest hotel. Delegates, after flying from Alaska or driving from Des Moines, were lured by white-glove promises of Michigan Avenue's Versailles, with its valet parking, ice rink, bowling alley, grand views, repeat with spa, console color televisions, and a marketing campaign to build a Hilton on the moon. But the moldy hotel had a troubled history. The Stevens Hotel, largest on earth, Stevens fibbed about his net worth. Hand-painted frescoes couldn't mask the strife. He went bankrupt, and his brother took his life. Beyond the promises of lavish amenities and overwhelmed staff, broken facilities, and the streets engulfed with violence, 2/3 of the convention attendees witnessed brutality from the hotel's windows. The howl of sirens, tear gas rising from the park and into room vents. The guests watched the violence as the world also watched it, the first live riots ever broadcast live on TV. A hotel, a city, a nation in crisis. Charlene thought while she was there, she would ask the Hilton employees to tell their stories. The mother of Rebecca, Humphrey's intern, was a housekeeper in the Hilton.
I work to clean the mess you make, replace the stolen things you take. Out of sight and out of your mind, but when you pass, you act so unkind. You may not speak of me. You may just glance away. You may not leave a cent. Just please don't say my name. My rented room so very far. The bus on strike, I own no car. Riots on the streets below, and conventioneers, they will soon all go. You may not speak of me. You may just glance away. You may not leave a cent. Just please don't say my name.
And inevitably, Charlene's father dies, and his stories are gone. We hear a 1948 radio announcer.
Thanks for tuning in to WCFL, Chicago's Voice of Labor. Freedom of speech, that's what we preach. Our partners Abraham Lincoln School and National Labor Conference for Peace join in welcoming the locals of United Packing House Workers and United Automobile Workers.
Eventually, we erase everything we know.
And Charlene is whisked to her youth.
We're broadcasting our fundraiser live from Grant to Park Benchell. Let me ask, everybody hep for a Truman landslide?
Well, it's 20 years ago in 1948, at a union rally for the railroad's fate, I see my pop's about to take the stage. For his rousing speech about a better wage, pop's a-talkin', blah, 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 can't get the price tag till he's purchased the goods. A bookwormy girl in the windy city, learning civic virtue from the folks who care. Dad's on strike, no Santa this year. Mom's gutted meat and armor till the big red scare. It's a-comin', woo, woo, woo. It's a-comin', the big red scare. Dad was in printing all his life. They're going to win their strikes. Refusal to work overtime, slow down, sit in, suffer the consequences. Owners discourage collective bargaining. Dad looked to the railroads, labor's mighty engine.
Welcome to the Chicago, Mrs. Casey Jones.
The past glory of the great railroads.
The end of the tunnel is not too far.
But the lights in the suburbs, you'll need a car.
Woo woo, honk honk, woo woo.
Honk honk honk, you can't make the monthly for what's under the hood. I met a hero from the Southside neighborhood, veteran and communist Harry Haywood.
We must talk about self-determination and stop racial attacks in the packing plants.
We can do it, we can do it. Do, we can't take the price tag. We can purchase the goods.
Two 1948 cops approach Charlene's dad, Harry Haywood, who turn and offer their wrists to the arresting officers.
It's an itty-bitty pity in the dirty, windy city. If the second red scare didn't scare you then, catch the train from Moscow to the House Committee. The blacklist roundups round the bend. Kami, won't be happy until he's locked up for good.
Two 1948 cops beat Charlene's dad and Harry Haywood to the floor. Charlene walks between the cops and her dad. Noticing the batons raised, they are unaware of her.
Sure, some are getting nervous. Their boys are back from service. Plunk the interview, how to survive. Can't afford that new Dynaflow drive.
Charlene's dad and Harry Haywood, handcuffed and beaten. Both sit up. Boo-hoo.
Book 'em. Show 'em what the fee is for dangerous ideas.
The two 1948 cops drag Charlene's dad and Harry Haywood off stage.
I'm Daddy's little comrade from jail, he writes to me. When you're in the Holy Library, you're always near to me. We are one, we're all together, though it seems we're torn apart. As the bookworms of the world unite, the whole sad human race. How'd you guess where this all goes? Pop's still in prison by the time it snows. Mom's working doubles to pay the rent, but the library The library don't cost a cent. The library don't cost a cent. The prison cell I know too well. The musty, oldly, bookish smell. The library where I lock me up. A dusty old self stuck on my shelf.
Charlene has lost her way. She listens to the traumatized recordings of the convention attendees, unclear what possible good could come from the story she's recorded.
As things got bad, the convention needed a nominating vote. Senator Wayne L. Hayes said to the floor of the convention, "There is a minority among us represented in Grant Park who would substitute anarchism for ambition and beards for brains, and they would substitute riots for reason."
We see a ghostly vocal drowning as we hear snippets from We Shall Overcome, Happy Days Are Here Again, in an increasingly audio dissonant landscape. A line of the performers assemble downstage. We hear a suspended, endless pitch that continues as Charlene listens to the accounts and mourns her father through the descriptions of the riot and inside the convention hall. Some individuals will turn to reveal gas masks and goggled troops holding rifles. But we're not going to do that tonight for the reading. But we will give you a glimpse. So what I'd like to ask everybody is when I raise my arm, I'd like you all to imitate the zhooey of a tear gas canister being launched into an unarmed crowd. Try it once. Perfect. Firestorm?
Mr. Chairman, can we have order on the floor?
Wisconsin may have the floor.
Most delegates at this convention do not know that thousands of young people are currently being beaten in the streets of Chicago.
New York delegates started singing too. Deep in my heart, I do believe.
You tell Daly then. The band's microphones are at full. The broadcast engineer dropped us from their feed. TV audiences are only hearing the protesters on the floor.
They want to hijack the Vietnam debates onto the floor so late that the networkers are off the air.
Pennsylvania, order!
Delegation from New York, order.
On TV, everyone could see how furious Mayor Daley was.
I can't hear your walkie-talkie. The hippies are rioting? Connecticut Senator Ribicoff just said Gestapo tactics. Cup to him.
Walk. If you run, you risk getting shot.
We want peace.
Tear the long hairs.
We want peace.
Tear the long hairs.
Sit down. Don't throw anything at the cops.
Clean them off the street.
The pigs are butchers.
Everyone together. We won't go. We won't go. We won't go.
We won't go. We won't go.
Tran Ha Lien, a young Vietnamese woman, emerges from the chaos. Tra Ha Lien will be sung tonight by Samantha Ringor.
All the chickens in the hen house have a name, have a name. All the chickens in the hen house have a name, have a name. All the chickens in the hen house are so soft, are so soft. All the chickens in the hen house are so soft, are so soft. If you think the sky is falling, you might be right, the sky is falling. If you think the sky is falling, you might be why the sky is falling. around you. All the chickens in the hen house grow so plump, grow so plump. All the chickens in the hen house grow so plump, grow so plump. All the chickens in the hen house act so scared, act so scared. All the chickens in the hen house act so scared, act so scared. If you had to ring a chicken, you'd be sickened, you'd be stricken. But if you were the one who's starving, you'd be the first to start your carving. You're not starving.
You're crying. You're dying.
Oh, the chickens in the hen house taste so good, taste so good. Oh, the chickens in the hen house taste so very good, very good. If you think the sky is falling, you might be right, the sky is falling. If you think that you can kill me, you're wrong, you're never gonna kill me. With kindness. Oh, the chickens in the hen house don't rise up, don't rise up. All the chickens in the hen house don't rise up, don't rise up, don't rise up.
Charlene listens to the recording again, lost and heartbroken. She replays the recording of people who were at the maelstrom. In the library, in the dark, empty library, she listens to hippie Steve. First we heard all the whiz, a war sound. The sound of the first tear gas canister shot above the trees, like some large canisters, large. Luckily, tree boughs caught them from direct impact upon us as they began to discharge their contents. So yeah, there was the not being able to see, people putting Vaseline in their eyes, people screaming that their eyes were on fire, people's eyes were bleeding, and it appeared to most of us that we were about to be martyred, that our time was up. We were so scared. She replays a recording of Lieutenant Stubbig, the angry cop doing his community service.
The feds save in their tanks, the freaking heat boiling. The no sleep, wet, stinking armor. Commies infiltrating the force, sweat dripping in your eyes and out of your nose like a snot-nosed crybaby day after day. They spat at you. You people hurled bricks, bottles, and nail-studded golf balls. But what killed me above from all the patriotic, the conventioneers out of the Hilton windows, he started hailing missiles, glass ashtrays.
She replays her recording of the Humphrey campaigner.
I saw people above in the Hilton throwing bars of soap and poop, hotel glass ashtrays down onto the police. The police shoved Mike Wallace, and I lost my eye falling through a store window with the radical Tom Hayden. We were lying there in the shattered window, and they were beating us. I was screaming, my eye, my eye!
The librarian quietly weeps, listening to the recording of the Students for Democratic Society protester.
People started introducing themselves to each other. Nicely, politely. The fuzz were like waiting for orders for their attack, their assault, out of control, like stormtroopers out of control. Standing there in the park, it reeked that dying was to be a definite possibility. Those SOBs were like waiting for the green light on their walkie-talkies. And we figured if we were going to die, then it would be nice to know the person you were going to die next to.
Charlene blinks away her tears, listening to the Catholic worker nuns interview.
When we rode the Freedom Trail bus into the South, we wrote our wills. There are plenty of times in history when unarmed groups of people get moved down, like Dr. Martin Luther King, Dr. King.
The librarian looks to the shelves above her, listening to Lonnie, the community organizer.
I no longer felt comfortable working on the Humphrey campaign because of how he suddenly let himself be LBJ's puppet. And although I wasn't the only black working in the campaign office, I didn't feel very welcomed. I had bills to pay. So I got this job at Sears. Hard as it was, I knew I had to make a change. Many black folks weren't interested in this convention. Plenty relished seeing cops club white protesters for once. With my new job, I felt like I wasn't doing enough to help, to organize. And I heard that some guys in the NABE were talking to this Jesse Jackson minister about getting some wagons and mules, live mules. And damned if they didn't show up in the middle of the big riot. A mule train, bales of cotton on these old-fashioned wagons. And we led them up Balboa. And you saw a wall of troops or cops or both. They're coming at you. And the mules got nervous. They shook their heads at the sour stink of the tear gas in the breeze. A bunch of big wagons with these cotton bales. People were clapping and cheering. And suddenly, like Moses, the blue sea of cops opened. And they, instead of beating us up like they were everyone else, the cops just let us through onto Michigan Avenue.
Charlene, the librarian, looks to the shelves above her, listening to Lonnie, the community organizer.
The convention made me sad. What happened to Sandy, who deserves to lose her eye? How much of our lives are determined by luck? And so sad to see what cruel hearts people have. People who think they have all the answers, all those long hours of our campaigning, And now we have to live with Nixon? Mommy's still having trouble breathing, so no measly Hilton paycheck for her. Even with my partial scholarship, my secretary job isn't going to pay for school. So I'm stuck with a student loan. But after all that my mom has done for me, getting us to America, giving up her career, I have to. Somehow I'll get my business degree and start something. And it will be a business that helps immigrant people to have better luck.
And we see a young ROTC in uniform standing alone.
Who of us got out? The lucky ones. Are we the lucky ones? Time will show. Time will show. The Lewiston boys are gone, tall and lanky, short and sweet. Ammo dump shrapnel from a Viet Cong. Battle of La Drang, butchered in their sleep. First promised Timmy Anderson he might have come home, but he didn't come out. Lined his shoes up in a row, arranging hangers to be just so. He's getting no help from the VA or his dirty bong. Who of us got out? The lucky ones. Are we the lucky ones? Time will show. Time will show. I'm the nation building, so I go put on the show. But who will I be killing? The gilded ones will never know. Are we their bloody ones? Are we all they know? Who of us got out? The lucky ones. Are we really the lucky ones? Time will show. Time will show. Time will show. Time will tell.
The ROTC exits saying, "If I get back from Nam, I'll be old enough to vote, or I'll head to Canada and leave these tears behind." Charlene? Charlene, the librarian, decides to deliver the completed paperwork to the social worker of the officer on probation. She asks the social worker if she would like to be interviewed. The social worker slowly shakes her head no, then smiles. Carrie, the social worker, will be read tonight by Madeline Steichen.
Will you please state your name?
I'm Carrie Carlton, a social worker with Chicago Corrections.
What would you like to tell me about yourself?
You mean the riots, right? Like how I found out that radical head honcho Jerry Rubin's bodyguard was an undercover cop?
Why don't you tell me about you?
I took vacation days off work to demonstrate during the convention. To pacifists became rioters, officers of the peace waged war.
Then what happened?
But then, the 1968 Democratic Convention was just over. The sun shining, TV crews long gone, the pigeons still shitting on people from park trees. I used my vacation days to demonstrate.
but please tell me about you.
Lieutenant Stubig said you're the first person who ever listened to him like it really mattered.
I was the one who was willing to listen to his growling.
I'd like to see the look on his face the day a black man is ever nominated for president.
Or a woman.
Like either of those will ever happen. Still, I do believe people can learn and grow, or else I wouldn't be a social worker. It's like what you're doing.
If only. I didn't know how to classify people's histories. They don't easily sort into the Dewey Decimal System. Loss, dreams, resentments.
My work is me. It's all about the next step. There will always be Nixons, and maybe even worse than Nixon. People will still save lives in emergency rooms, change minds in classrooms, but completely invisible. Except if you bother to look, people will go about their business. They're fighting their own uphill battles. And me, I go back to my caseload.
How do you persevere in the face of such insurmountable odds?
No one can stop me, including me. The struggle never ends is all. You want to know about me? This just in from the cluttered desk of a pitifully paid social worker. Who knows how to get robbed by both her screwed up, screwed over clients and still find time on her brutal commute? To slip on some piss and maybe a needle, but laugh at a rat whose fat rump gets stuck.
Find me an exit.
In the gate of a Dane-designated community garden that withers and has no future, no pastoral future.
Find me some kind of love.
No picnics, no children, no laughing or singing. Don't make me cry.
Look who's crying.
Don't make me cry.
Look at them dream.
You can't make me cry.
Who's watching TV?
Won't make me cry.
Who's in a
If you want a riot, I'll show you some riot.
Who bombed those people?
Just rally the pros of the incarceration circuit and generate heat like some goddamn oven. Where no one knows no one who's ever been someone, and all far too broken to see a horizon, whose family disowns her for milking the ghetto. Big old lonely club, big old lonely club, big old lonely.
I'll grab some rocks now and find a store window.
You're
2,000 miles from the big old lonely club. You're 100 miles from the big old lonely club. You're 50 miles from the big old lonely club. Welcome to the big lonely club. We blink.
If I've never been happy, it isn't my problem.
We sweat.
This disease of caring is going extinct, so get the hell out.
It blinks.
So I'll write my casework and find lousy housing for someone who hates me.
We sweat.
And wait for the bus by the fat-rumped vermin for over an hour, and don't be afraid. Can't make me walk.
So proud.
Won't make me stop.
Spreading the flags.
I can't make me stop. Invisible people who won't go away. I will never go to sleep. Who's waging cruel war? Cruel war. So this is me. You're
2,000 miles from the big old lonely club.
I'll keep listening.
100
I'll
miles
keep
from the
recording
big
people,
old
even if I don't
lonely
have a
club.
clue how to categorize what the hell they say. This, I'm trading in this old Super 8 movie camera. Of course, I'll need some help to run it.
We fail. We work. We dream.
Here we are at the big old lonely club. Welcome to the
big lonely club.
So I'll strike a
up conversation, make none of what I hear, the lessons of the present before we disappear. The difference between doing very little and doing nothing has never been greater. Of history and rewind history. We pay for the package and we live with the goods. Na 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 na. The challenge of history. Listen to history. The marvel of you and me.
Thank you very much for letting us show you some glimpses of the musical 68. We wish you the future that you helped create. Please thank these performers one more time who stepped up to share their talents with you. Thank you, everyone. But we have more business. Before we go on to face our futures together and separately, who has a story about their memories of the 1968 Democratic Convention?
I was a kid, and so the 1968 Democratic Convention was going to obliterate the TV schedule that I usually wanted to follow. Only ABC stuck with it, the network of Batman and whatever. But they had come up with a gimmick of having arguments between Gore Vidal and I've just forgotten the other person. Sorry? Oh, yeah. And so there were arguments so that was their main attraction. But still, as the days wore on, everyone who had said, oh, this isn't worth watching, said, oh, this is now something worth watching. And it transformed, it gave us new assumptions. Thereafter, when there was ever any big group downtown, there would be this, is it safe to go? Am I going to run into something? Years later, Sly and the Family Stone, for whatever reason, had a series of concerts which seemed to end in violence or at least confrontations. And I still remember looking back and saying, oh, I was here, then I went here, and the trouble broke out. And then I was here and went here, and the trouble broke out here. Whew! I just escaped any of that. It was just eye-opening, but as a kid, what was I going to do? I had my TV interrupted, but my consciousness raised because there was something going on, and I really wanted to know more. So thank you for capturing the details of what was going on. I mean, it was heartbreaking to hear the details that you wouldn't see on TV. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, for the record, Sly and the Family Stone were in police cars trying to get to the concert, but the crowd was so huge that the police cars couldn't even get through to the stage, and they never got to the stage, and the crowds rioted. Right, that was part of the legend, is Sly doesn't show up in a riot. I know, that's because it had happened several times, yeah. And I wish I had been there because the Flying Burrito Brothers are the opening act. I would have loved to have seen them. You know. But anyway, all right, my memories. I was 17 in 1968, and I was in a rock and roll band already, and my band and I, we were going to see every concert we could. And so we heard there were going to be a lot of bands in the park that day at the convention site. So we decided, let's go down and see who's playing. There's going to be a bunch of great bands there. So we went down, about 4 of us went down, and we ended up in the middle of the park, and it was monstrous crowds everywhere. I got right in front of the stage area. Jerry Rubin, Abby Hoffman, Allen Ginsberg spoke 10 feet away from me right there. And then a band called the MC5 came out, right? And they were a pretty heavy band. They were famous for a song where they would sing, "Kick out the jams, mothers and fuckers," right? But on the record album, it was "Kick out the jams, brothers and sisters." But in live performance at Grant Park that day, they did the mothers and fuckers. And of course, the crowd went nuts. And they played. And after they played, we waited for the next band because there was supposed to be someone. I think Jefferson Airplane was supposed to show. Everybody was going to. But the cops then drove the motorcycles right through the crowd, and they didn't care who was in the way, and people were flying left and right, and the whole stage area got pretty much trashed, and that was the end of it. There were no more bands at all that day, and we all left at that point. And luckily, we did not get tear gassed, because I got tear gassed in riots in Carbondale in 1970 while I was in a march down there. And if you haven't been tear gassed, you don't ever want to get tear gassed, because it is one of the most horrible things you can imagine. All you want to do is get away from that tear gas, and you'll push anybody out of your way. It is really horrible. And I was surprised when I was watching the January 6th insurrection, which is what it was, sorry folks. That tear gas was everywhere, and it didn't seem to be affecting people as much as I thought it would have been. I thought the people would be running and screaming, but they weren't. It's like, maybe they don't use a real serious dose anymore or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's my memory of the event. And we all went to have pizza in Piper's Alley at La Piazza after the band was done playing.
I thank the Chicago Historical Society and its incredible collection. I came about 6 years ago, I did 2 trips out, spent 2 separate weeks, met people, interviewed people, and what you see, and you saw a glimpse of a show that has more than what you've seen, but we wanted to focus tonight on, and for these folks doing such a great job with the cold reading is heroic, right, in and of itself. But what was most interesting to me, and of course, because as I said at the opening, because you guys have such a rich oral history, it's the kind of work that we see that goes on here, where people were really doing investigative work, who are really trying to find their ways to stories that matter, and I think that's what moved me. I came, and the other thing that I was interested in was like trying to look at the prism, trying to look at, if I could find a way to not hate that asshole cop, but to try to find the humanity there. And so my interest was to just try to find that. One of the funniest things happened. Paul Leschen, who wrote the beautiful score, while we were writing the piece, we were really wondering, like, how could it play? How do we make it not be just watered down, because it tries to be fair and balanced, And one of the funniest things that happened is we were invited to be at a festival in New York, that's sort of the Sundance of musical theaters, and we were one of the featured shows. We got a nice production of the show. And the best review came from the National Review. And am I getting the name right? The National Review, right? You're supposed to groan in horror. Anyway, so the guy, there was also a show on Scolita that summer, and the review started by saying there's 2 shows in New York that are sure to upset any true-hearted conservative. But 68, it's clear that this show cares about human beings. And so even though it's not for me, I think it should exist. So it's like, okay, that's a good review. So anyway, any questions? To the cast? That was a great question to ask everybody, obviously. All right, thank you. Yes, please. Well, we are probably, you know, the discussion was about possibly doing something like a fundraiser this fall in New York City, and letting the politics of the moment, the same way we came out here to just want to tell these stories to an audience that would find them of value, hopefully, and make you want to go read more. And the one thing that is, because we're doing this free, is that I was pretty footloose and fancy free with copyrighted photos. And so I would like to at least end the night by acknowledging that lots of photos that were taken were people who risked their lives to take them. And now big conglomerates own those photos, but there were human beings along the way. So, all right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.